The phone buzzed on the granite countertop, a single, insistent vibration against the hard surface. It wasn't my phone. Mine was in my pocket, a lifeless brick. This was Sarah's, the new one, the iPhone 15 Pro Max she'd needed for her real estate business. She'd forgotten it, something she never did, too busy rushing out the door to meet a client from out of town for a late dinner. I was loading the dishwasher, my hands smelling of stale coffee and marinara sauce, the remnants of another solo meal. The buzz was a text message, and her phone, angled just right, lit up with the preview on the always-on display. I saw it because I was meant to see it. Or maybe I wasn't. That's the question that will haunt me forever. The screen glowed, a little rectangle of betrayal. It was from Michael T., her business partner. The message preview, clear as day, read, "Can't wait to feel you again. This time, no rushed goodbyes in the supply closet. I've booked the whole weekend. Tell the old man you're at a..." The preview cut off. My hand, holding a wet coffee mug, froze. The world didn't slow down. It stopped. The hum of the refrigerator vanished. The ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall ceased. There was only the phone, that message, and the sound of my own heart hammering against my ribs like it was trying to escape my chest. Old man. Supply closet. The whole weekend. The mug slipped from my fingers, shattering on the tile floor, but I didn't even flinch. I was a statue, a monument to a marriage that had just been revealed as a 27-year lie. I never thought I'd be the guy standing in his own kitchen, watching his whole life burn down on a 6-inch screen. Let me take you back to when it all started, back when the world was still in color and the word trust wasn't something I had to turn over in my mind, checking it for cracks. The kids came. Jake first, in '99, a squalling, red-faced boy who had my stubborn chin. Then Lily, in 2002, with Sarah's perfect button nose. Our world shrank and expanded all at once. It was diapers and midnight feedings, PTA meetings, and little league games. I worked 60, sometimes 70 hours a week at the shop. I came home with grease under my fingernails that wouldn't scrub out and an ache in my back that was my constant companion. But I'd walk in the door, and Jake would tackle my legs, and Lily would demand a daddy ride on my shoulders, and Sarah would smile from the stove, and it was all worth it. We were building something. We traded the ranch for a bigger colonial in 2005, right before the market crashed. The payment jumped to $2,000 a month, a number that scared me, but Sarah said it was an investment in our future. She'd left the bank by then, started selling Mary Kay, then some kitchen gadgets, always looking for that side hustle. I was proud of her ambition. If I'd known then what I know now, I would have seen that ambition wasn't for us, for our family. It was a restlessness, a search for something I could never provide. The years rolled on. The shop stabilized. I bought out my dad in 2010. Sarah's real estate license came in 2012, right as the market was heating up again. That's when she met Michael Turner. He was a top producer at a rival firm, but he and Sarah hit it off at some brokerage mixer. He convinced her to jump ship and partner with him. Turner and Anderson Properties. It sounded so official. He was a slick talker, wore suits that cost more than my truck, drove a BMW. I didn't like him much, I'll admit it. He felt polished. But Sarah was on fire. She was making real money, more than she ever had. She said it was for the kids' college funds, for our retirement. She talked about leveraging assets and portfolio diversification. I was just the guy who ran a machine shop. What did I know? I trusted her. I was happy she'd found her niche. The money was good. We remodeled the kitchen. We took a trip to Cancun. We were content. The first tiny crack, the one I should have paid attention to, was so small I almost missed it. It was a Thursday night in, I want to say, 2018. Jake was a freshman in college, Lily a sophomore in high school. We were watching some crime drama on TV. Sarah's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, and a smile, a quick, private little thing, touched her lips before she could hide it. She typed a rapid response and put the phone face down on her chest. "Work," she'd said without me asking. "Michael. Always on." I just grunted, my eyes on the screen. But the feeling, That cold little trickle of something settled in my gut. If you've ever laid awake at 3 a.m. wondering if you're crazy, you know this feeling. It's not jealousy, not yet. It's a quiet, unsettling hum that tells you the music of your life is playing in a key you don't recognize. The changes were slow, so gradual they were almost imperceptible. She started working later. Open houses, she'd say. Networking events. Her phone, which used to be left charging on the nightstand, now went with her into the bathroom when she showered. The passcode, which had been Lily's birthday for a decade, changed. When I asked, she laughed it off. Oh, some security thing Michael said we all needed to do. Client data, you know. She started dressing differently. Not just for work, but on the weekends too. Tighter jeans. New lingerie that showed up in the laundry. Lace and silk I'd never seen before. A girl's gotta feel good about herself, Mark, she'd say when I complimented her. Then came the criticisms, little paper cuts. Do you have to wear those worn-out boots in the house? You're not still talking about expanding the shop, are you? That's such a risk right now. The partnership with Michael was booming. They were winning awards. Their faces were on bus benches. I was proud of her, but I felt myself shrinking in my own home. I was becoming the old man in my own story. The doubt turned to obsession somewhere in the blur of 2021. I found myself watching her, noting how she'd angle her body away from me when she was on her phone, counting the minutes she was late coming home. I started checking the mileage on her SUV. I'd look for receipts in her purse, feeling like a thief in my own life. One Tuesday, she said she was showing a property in Glenville, a good 45 minutes away. I drove by the office. Her car wasn't there. I sat in my truck, a 2018 Ford F-150 Lariat that I was still making payments on, my hands gripping the wheel so tight my knuckles were white. I didn't see anything. She came home at 8, flushed and talking a mile a minute about a difficult client. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. I told myself I was being a fool, a paranoid, middle-aged man whose wife was simply more successful than he was. I buried the feeling, but it was like a weed, and it kept growing. The first real, almost caught moment came last summer. We were at a company picnic for her firm. Michael was there, holding court by the grill, the charming boss. He clapped me on the shoulder. Mark, how's the metal business? His hand was heavy, possessive. I saw him and Sarah exchange a look across the lawn, a flicker of something that was gone in an instant. Later, I went to get more ice from the cooler near the woodshed. As I rounded the corner, I saw them. They weren't touching. They were just standing close, too close, their heads almost together. They didn't hear me. Sarah was saying, "Impossible. He's there. A constant presence." Michael murmured something back, too low for me to hear, and she laughed, a soft, intimate sound I hadn't heard her make in years. I backed away, my heart thudding. When I confronted her that night, carefully, saying they seemed awfully chummy, she blew up. Are you serious? We were talking about a multi-million-dollar listing. God, Mark, your insecurity is so unattractive. She turned it around on me, and I, like a fool, I apologized. Tell me in the comments, when would you have snapped? Because I didn't. I just took it. The ironclad proof didn't come in a dramatic way. Came through sheer, dumb carelessness on my part, or maybe it was fate. My laptop died. I needed to check our home security system settings, which were linked to her email for some reason she'd set up years ago. I asked for her password. She sighed, annoyed, but gave it to me. It's Fluffy 2021, she said, the name of our long-dead childhood cat. A piece of my past used to lock away my present. That night, with her at another late meeting, I logged in. My hands were shaking. I felt sick. I went straight to the trash folder. And there it was. A deleted email confirmation for 2 first-class plane tickets to Barbados, in the names of Sarah Anderson and Michael Turner, departing in 3 weeks. The total cost was over $11,000, charged to our joint visa, the one we used for household emergencies. I sat there in the dark, the blue light of the screen washing over me. I felt numb, the kind of numb that comes before the real pain, a Novocaine shot to the soul. This was more than an affair. This was a second life, funded by my life, by the sweat of my brow, by the years I'd given to that shop, to her, to our family. Stay till the very end. Because what happened next still keeps me up at night. I didn't confront her. Not then. The numbness held. I became a detective in my own home, a ghost gathering evidence against the living. I hired a guy, a discreet PI recommended by a buddy from the shop. His name was Ray. For $2,000, he gave me everything. Photos of them leaving a motel on the other side of town. Time-stamped receipts from restaurants I'd never taken her to. And the financial records. Oh, the financial records. That was the second twist, the one that was far worse than just the affair. Men over 50, we've given too many years to let this go. Keep listening. Because it's never just the heart. It's the money. It's the future. Ray showed me transfers. Over the past 2 years, Sarah had been systematically draining our joint savings account, the one for property taxes and big repairs. She'd moved over $85,000 into a new account under Turner and Anderson Properties. She'd taken a second line of credit on our house, the one we'd fought so hard to pay down, for $150,000. For business capital, the documents said. Our house, the one I'd painted, the one where we'd raised our kids, was now collateral for her double life. She'd even borrowed against my 401k. The retirement I'd been building chip by chip for 30 years was lighter by 50 grand. She was building her escape pod with the wreckage of our shared life. The second, almost caught moment was my own fault. I was in the garage going through the old filing cabinet, looking for more financial records. I found a stack of paperwork for a P.O. box I knew nothing about. Box 1427. The key was taped to the back of the file. I was holding it in my hand when Sarah came out. "What are you doing out here?" she asked, her voice sharp. I closed the drawer, my fist closing around the key in my pocket. "Just looking for the manual for the lawnmower." She stared at me for a beat too long. "It's in the kitchen drawer, where it's always been." She knew I was lying, and I knew she knew. The air was thick with unspoken truths. We were playing a game of chicken, and I was about to swerve. The final twist, the one that tied directly to the title, came from that P.O. box. The next day, I drove to the post office. My hand was steady as I slid the key into the lock. Inside were bundles of envelopes. Not love letters. Legal documents. Incorporation papers for a new company in the Bahamas. Bank statements from a Cayman Islands institution. And a new life insurance policy on me. For $2 million. She'd taken it out 6 months ago. The beneficiary wasn't her. It was a trust. And the trustee was Michael Turner. It wasn't just about love or money or a new life in the sun. It was about erasing me completely and cashing in. The text message I saw on her phone, the one that started this whole story, that was just the final, careless spark on a pile of gasoline-soaked timber she'd been building for years. If I'd known then what I know now, I wouldn't have felt a single moment of rage. I would have felt only a cold, clear purpose. So I went back to that moment in the kitchen, the shattered mug at my feet, the phone glowing on the counter. I didn't pick it up. I didn't smash it. I walked to my own phone, pulled up the video editing app my son Jake had shown me, and I got to work. I had scanned every document. I had the photos from the PI. I had the flight confirmations, the bank transfers, the life insurance policy. I compiled it all into a single 12-minute video, a silent movie of our marriage's destruction. I wrote a simple, factual narration. No anger. Just dates, times, amounts. Then I did 2 things. I sent the video to our family group chat, me, Sarah, Jake, and Lily. And then I posted it publicly on my personal Facebook page, which was friends with all our neighbors, all my shop guys, all her high school friends, her parents, my parents, everyone. I titled it, The True Story of Turner and Anderson Properties. I hit post at 8:47 p.m. on a Friday night. The first reaction was the phone in my hand. A call from Jake. I let it go to voicemail. Then Lily. Then Sarah's mom. Then my phone started buzzing continuously. A hive of shocked messages. But it was the other phone, Sarah's, that became the center of the universe. It started buzzing. Then it rang. The screen lit up with Michael T. It rang again and again. Then the text started flooding the preview screen. Sarah, what the hell is this? Pick up. My wife just saw it. She's gone. The news stations are picking it up. Call me. I just stood there, watching the little screen light up with the unraveling of two lives. The front door slammed open. Sarah stood there, her face pale, her own phone pressed to her ear. What did you do? She whispered, her voice cracking. What did you do? I pointed to her phone, still buzzing and lighting up on the counter. I think you have a call, I said, my voice eerily calm. She stared at me, then at her phone, her eyes wide with a terror I had never seen before. The hammer had dropped. The fallout was more public and more brutal than I could have imagined. Someone from the local news saw the video. It wasn't just a marital spat. It was a story of financial fraud, of a respected local businesswoman and her partner embroiled in a scandal. A reporter showed up at our door. Sarah was screaming at me from the upstairs window before I could even answer. The clip of her, face contorted in rage, yelling, "You ruined me. You ruined everything," made the 10 o'clock news. The comments on my Facebook post, which I had to deactivate after it hit 10,000 shares, were a river of vitriol aimed at her. Quotes from people I hadn't heard from in years. I always knew there was something off about that Michael Turner. Sarah, how could you do this to Mark? He's the most decent man I know. They've been stealing from clients too, I bet. This has Ponzi scheme written all over it. Her professional reputation was atomized in a single night. The final twist, the one no one saw coming, not even me, came from my daughter, Lily. She called me, sobbing. Dad, Mom. She tried to call me. I didn't answer. But Jake. He talked to her. I braced myself. What did he say? Lily took a shaky breath. He said he wasn't entirely surprised. He said that Michael's son, Jason, who he goes to college with, had been bragging for months that his dad was going to leave his mom for his smoking hot new business partner, and that they were going to be rich and move to an island. Jake thought he was just being a jerk. He never believed it was our mom. The knife, it turned out, wasn't just close to home. It was inside the house, and our own son had been nicked by its blade without even realizing it. The closure wasn't clean. It never is. The police got involved for the financial stuff. Turner and Anderson Properties is under investigation. Our assets are frozen. The house will likely have to be sold. My retirement is a shadow of what it was. But I have my kids. I have my shop. The lawyers tell me I have a strong case for fraud and dissipation of marital assets. Sarah is living in an apartment, reportedly alone. Michael Turner's wife left him, took the kids, and is suing him for every penny he has left. The life insurance policy was voided. The justice I got wasn't the kind you see in the movies. It was quiet. It was the silence in my house, a silence that was finally honest. It was the text from Jake that said, "Love you, Dad. We'll get through this." It was the knowledge that I had exposed the truth. The one that started with a single text message I was never meant to see. If the story hit you square in the chest like it did me while living it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Because the next betrayal I tell might just save you from living it yourself.